Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. We're so glad you've joined. Today in the studio are Anna Mordovina, aka Tortik, and Ilya Zloididi-Botyanovsky. For all our English-speaking viewers, commenting everything that is happening on screen today are Nick, aka Niva Kaame. My name is Arts, and joining us from the sunny, or so it says, London, is a very special guest who you certainly remember from the Blitz Twister Cup, the one and only Skate Extreme. Hi, Skate.
Hello.
So today you'll witness a show match between teams C4 and LGN that you've waited for such a long time. Last time these two teams met at the Blitz Twister Cup, but today they will clash again in our friendly battles on the Blitz battlefield. Oh, that's gonna be heated, alright.
And that's not even all. Between the matches, you might just hear some exciting new info about planned updates to the game, first hand from the developers of World of Tanks Blitz.
Yeah, so for root players, as we can hear, they have some trouble with ping, but we will definitely hope that everything will be alright and the game will go smooth. So we will have the best of 7 format, and we have another feature. And the most interesting one is that the guys will be playing tier 8 vehicles, so we will not see the usual setups here. And we hope that this will be something interesting and the guys will treat this match as a show game. They will show us different various tactics, and our streamer, Skate, will give us the best details about this battle, so we will try to comment it in all the detail. We will also share some details about the updates, share some news with you. We hope they will be interesting for you and you will enjoy them immensely. And now I'm giving the floor to Skate to tell us some more about the mayhem that's about to unveil. So the teams are ready and we're gonna get acquainted with them. So what are we playing today, Skate?
Hey guys. So what we are looking at is a tier 8 friendly battle. However, obviously this is LGN versus C4. They last met face to face in the Blitz Twister Cup. So I imagine, although I know these teams are friendly and they do get along, there's got to be a bit of, I really want to push this, win this type situation. So obviously LGN want to keep the title, and C4, although it's a friendly, obviously maybe want a bit of revenge. Aside from that, as you mentioned, it is a 7 versus, it's a best of 7 situation. So 4 victories by one team will pull the win. It's tier 8, which is different. We haven't seen these teams play tier 8 before. I'm genuinely really curious to what the setups are going to be, which we're going to look at in a second. Before we do, let me just explain the map situation. As I mentioned, it is 7 battles. The first one is going to take place on Naval Frontier, and then the second will also be Naval Frontier, just a reversal of spawns. Third battle and fourth, Dynasty's Pearl, exactly the same with a reversal of spawn. And the fifth and the sixth battle, exactly the same on Mayan's Ruin with a reversal of spawns. However, the 7th battle will be Castilla, and spawns will be entirely at random. That's if we get to the 7th battle. We're just going to have to wait to see how it pans out. Now, in Tier 10 Clan Wars, the Russians are the ones which dominate. So let's have a look at what we're looking at in the Tier 8 battles. And it's Russians. Nobody gets that. Although I'm very pleased to see Gandalf and Eggy are both in T-34s. Granted, they picked the colourful one, should we say. Oh, and Thomas's. That's an interesting choice. Good gun depression, good turret. I'm intrigued to see how they pan out. C4 have gone with the good old reliable IS-3 Defender. Hasn't got the greatest accuracy, but my god, the armour is great. And then we've got a T-49 with C4 and two T54 lightweights. And then they're obviously backed up by the ISU 152. Some reliable choices. T49 is an interesting choice. I wonder if that's going to be predominantly a scout. I guess we're going to have to wait and see. And then looking at the Legion setup, I only have one scout, the T54 lightweight, but I'm genuinely fascinated by the amount of American tanks there. It's not something we see in Tier 10 in Clan Wars, so there's a bit more diversity, it appears, at Tier 8. Either that or we're going to see a switch, I don't know. But with a couple of T34s there, in a hold-down situation, oh yeah, they'll be devastating, especially if they can team up 3 T54s. Oh, T34s. And what sort of damage are we looking? 400. So yeah, we're looking at a lot of damage. 1200 pretty much, if they can stay hold down and work in a 3. I really hope that happens. That'd be very interesting. And we're going straight into the first one. And yeah, we are sticking with those teams. I am really fascinated, genuinely fascinated how this is going to turn out. So let's have a little lookies at these teams. Okay, so first off, we've got Legion heading down towards A. And which way have we got C4 looking? And C4, we got the T49 Ufpinjar coming straight in to spot them up as they come across. One of my favourite spots, personally, and we have a nice shot straight away into Blasty. T49 into an IS-3, though, it doesn't do a lot of damage, does it? But that's pretty much most of Legion lit up by Ufpinjar in the T49. That's not a good sign, because they know exactly where they are going. However, that being said, T49 is on the flank. Pay attention to what's going on here, because that's going to be quite an interesting turnaround of things. And the ISU for C4, he's not in a situation which is very strong and useful to the team at the moment. This is very different to what we're seeing at Tier 10. I'm genuinely looking, going, hang on a second. Where's he doing? What's he doing? So the ISU, I'm keeping an eye on him, person. What you see on the screen, by the way, guys, is very slightly different to what I see. I have a different camera, so I'm flicking around between people and what is going on. But I'm genuinely curious as to what the ISU is going to do to get himself in the game. As it stands, it's pretty much neck and neck, aside from the fact that C4 have B and C. But deep damage-wise, which has been done, well, we're just going to have to wait to see how it goes. T54 lightweight for C4 and 7 minutes in the IS-3 Defender are working their way round to Oxbow in the Persian. Oxbow really could do with a bit of backup there. I'm not sure if Ping was suffering with a bit of lag there, possibly, or he just really, really likes that wall in B, because he's really going for that wall. Thomas is in a very nice, strong position in the T34. This is quite a slow game. Everyone's playing quite reserved, which I'm genuinely surprised at. Legion like to set up and then push, and as we've seen previously, C4 like to be very, very aggressive, yet tactical at the same time. But so far, everything is very reserved. And C4, well, to be fair, they're in a situation where they can be. They're just kicking back, going, hey, we got 2 bases. Pressure's on you, Legion. And I don't know if this is because it's the first game. Legion are just, you know, working things out, trying to see how it goes. Or they are actually in a situation where they can't work out what to do here. So I really, really, really want to see Legion make a push here. And Gandalf currently Schwarzkopf in the C4 IS-3 Defender. There's a one-on-one there, but Gandalf is a one-shot. But it looks like the Defender's on a reload. Oh, Gandalf's really close. And we've lost 2 of C4 and 2 of Legion in the time which I was looking at Gandalf. So that's a serious situation now. They are both starting to push. And Legion have the guns. But they don't have... They don't have the points. They're not going to make it, sadly. It's too early. Well, it's not too early to call. There's the game. Legion could have potentially done that, but they left it too late for the push. And I'm not sure. Let's have a look at the results screen. I'm not sure if a couple of C4 guys there were suffering with some ping. The ISU 152, which I pointed out at the start of the battle, hugged several walls for several periods of time. So I genuinely think there either may be an issue there, or they were just hiding out because they knew they had the bases. Only way to find out is see what happens when there is a role reversal on the same match, guys. So looking at that one, the highest damage on the board was Blast in his IS-3, followed by Thomas in his T-34, and then we're looking at the C4 Milk and Pingver in the IS-3 Defender and the T-54 Lightweight. But yeah, genuinely surprised by that one. That was an interesting scenario. So, I'm not sure if they're waiting for me to ready up there, because I have a tendency to forget because I'm not taking part and I'm just viewing the camera. But no, I think everybody is readied up. Is there any change in tanks? No, there is not. Now remember, guys, this is a friendly. However, these teams have gone head-to-head in the finals. So there's kind of a lot of personal, not grudges, because the teams get on. But there's a lot of pride involved in this one. And with a lot of pride involved, you really want to win and sometimes put a bit too much pressure on yourself. It's like when you bump into that player you know from either your own clan or a friendly clan of someone you know in a random battle. Don't gain anything by winning except pride. And it's just oh, I really got to pull out all the stops here. So this is a friendly. This is purely for your viewing pleasure. But for the teams, there is something, isn't there? So, role reversal, opposite sides. Are they going to do complete reverses? It looks like C4 are going for C again, which is exactly the same as what they did from the other spawn. Are Legion going to counter it this time? No, they are going towards A, but it looks like Engi's pushing in hard to B. Let's get a closer look at Engi, because yeah, he's now in cover. That's a very nice spot, actually. And his tank fits there, lovely. But because we've got... Oh, no, never mind. That was a nasty hit from the T-49. Ow! Okay. T-49 was a very diverse, varied choice, and it's for scenarios like that where it pays off. When you get a massive shot into a light tank. In the time that has happened, though, they have still managed to capture B. C4 have already got on C, and on A, well, there it is. So, Legion now have the advantage from the start. Legion now need to get into defensive spots, and basically play it cool, and make C4 come to them. Whether that happens, I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. Whatever happens, though, Engi needs to get into cover, because he's not looking healthy right now. He's on very low hit points. And I imagine that T-49, Punjab is very happy with that shot into him. But Engi is in a precarious spot, but you can see T-34 Thomas in his very, very colourful / ugly T-34, keeping cover and watch over him. And again, all they have to do is play it cool. That's it, guys. That's all they've got to do is play it cool here. And play defensively. And they need to basically just wait for C4 to push on them. When people push, they sometimes make mistakes. And that's kind of what they need to hope for here. And this is exactly the opposite of what happened in the last match. Legion had to push. They left the push too late. They lost it. Let's see if C4 make the same mistake. And there goes Engi. Engi is down. And there you go. T-49. His last shot, 700 plus damage. He just put a shot for 49 damage into Thomas. So I'm going to flick over my camera to have a look at what Engi and Gandalf are doing. And they're in a nice situation here. They got gun depression, but Gandalf is getting shots through that top commander's hatch. So he needs to back it up, and Engi needs to cover him. Engi just had a shot from the ISU, though. They really, really need to get back to defensive positions. Oxford, interesting choice with Pershing, I will say that. How is Punjab doing in his little T-49, though? Fine. I'm happy to see that, actually. A lot of people were upset at nerf on this tank. Nah. Punjab doesn't care in his T-49. There goes another Legion player, though. C4 are making the push, and they've made that push a lot earlier. And they're in A and B. It doesn't look... You should never call this as commentator too early because you look like an idiot if you're wrong. However, there's no way they're coming back from this one. 15 and 27 hit points. Just 27 hit points. It's a little. So, 2-0 to C4. C4 played this map very, very well. I love the fact that Legion have come in here with 3 tanks we wouldn't expect to see, the T-34. But it doesn't look like it's playing out too well. ISU in the last game. Nothing. He did 200 damage. This one, however, it paid off very well. And I think that's because his team were more towards C, which dragged Legion guys out trying to push. Thus, ISU, in his nice high position, got plenty of damage off. That being said, Gandalf had a crack game in his T-34. 2,100 damage. Legion need to push this one back. We're looking on a 2-0 so far. Now, obviously, I'm not going to call bias. I'm from the EU server. Legion are my friends from the EU server. But I met the guys from C4, and they're all a wonderful bunch. But obviously, same server. You know I'm going to slightly root for EU, obviously. Shouldn't say that, really, should I?
You can. And meanwhile, we're back in the studio, and let's talk a bit about upcoming changes to the game. We've got a few exciting things coming up in 2018. Ooh. Again, we're glad that every one of you joined us in this stream today. Today we're broadcasting to all the different regions in the world. And if you've just joined, we're reminded that in the studio today with you is Anna Mordovina and Ilya Botyanovsky. Commenting is Nick and myself, Art. And we're joined by Skate Extreme. So, what awaits us in the 2018? First off, Chinese vehicles. Ooh, you've been rooting for this change for such a long, long time. So that's going to be one of the major beats in World of Tanks Blitz in 2018. You can see new and try out, obviously, the new Chinese vehicles already in update 4.6. It's in this update that you will see a full-fledged branch of Chinese vehicles. Some of these vehicles have already been tested by super test players. They left a lot of positive feedback. And soon you will be able to try out the vehicles yourself. Is that exciting? This winter. Just wait for it. Let's look at a short video about Chinese vehicles.
Yeah, what a cool video. I hope you enjoyed it as well as we did. So we believe that the Chinese vehicles will be favorite among those who love Soviets. They have many advantages and a few things that are very peculiar of this nation, but I guess everyone will get accustomed to them. However, those who can play such vehicles, they showed amazing results playing 1-to-1. And the very peculiar thing about these vehicles is that they have, the medium vehicles have guns of heavies. So the alpha damage and damage per shot are just amazing. So You can also, in future, you will also enjoy both tank destroyers and heavies. So just keep anticipating the new vehicles this winter, and of course, yeah, we will not be limited by Chinese vehicles only, but this is the piece of news that we're ready to share with you right now. Yeah, so we cannot forecast how the nation will perform, and you need to definitely to wait for it and then try it yourself and make your own conclusions. However, we believe that this Chinese branch is a very anticipated event, the release of this branch and this nation at all. So before going to back to battles, we would like to share with you another update. And this update is Rating Battles 2.0. So this is something that was very expected by guys from NA and from Asia. So we gathered your feedback and we're ready to share some information and details about the new rating battles. So what we like most about this update is that rating battles will become available to vehicles from tier 7 to tier 8. Because players often say that there is a lack of skill-based balance.
But now we're gonna get one.
Yeah, sure.
Skill balance, tier 7 and 8 play. What more can you expect?
Yeah, and while you were talking about the tier 7 and tier 8 matches, we can also say that we will optimize the formula for rating calculation, and as a result, teams will be matched more quickly, and rating earned for a battle will depend on the current rating score. The higher the score, the more difficult it will be to further increase it. However, we also have this a bit of a limitation when we have more players in the CIS region and fewer in NA and Asia regions. However, we'll do our best to get it even for all regions. Yeah, so for when the system matches more or less equal players to the battle, we can get more focus on team strategy, on team interaction. So we can also, I think we should get you prepared to the.
Yeah, so basically the rating values, the current rating values will be wiped. So if you have managed to achieve a high enough rating, this is the exact time where you should take your screenshot and save it for posterity.
Yeah, exactly. And there is one more thing. Rating will not be a static number from 30 to 60. It will depend on which league you're in currently. And yeah, so as we've already said, the higher you get, the more difficult it will be to increase it.
Oh, that's going to be so much more difficult to get into the Diamond League then.
Yeah, but it will be more challenging, but it will be more rewarding as well.
Of course.
Yeah, so the Brilliant League, yeah, it will be a real achievement.
Yeah, I'm not so much of a skilled player, so there's no chance I'm getting into the Diamond League anytime soon.
Yeah, so we have another thing about the rating battles, but we will just tell you in a further release. We also would like to share the balance changes.
Yeah, and the last thing we wanted to talk about is changes to vehicle balance. Well, recently we got this info from players that one TD does not usually equal the other TD. So there are different vehicles, and even within one tier, you can see, you know, various performance from different vehicles of the same class, right? So that's why we're going to have some changes to vehicle balancing.
Yeah, so as we heard, this nicknames, the developers nickname them like Super Heavies or Super Tank Destroyers for the vehicles that are performing a bit better than other ones. So there will be a situation for our matchmaker right now is that the whole system will become more orderly. Like if an enemy team has a Super Heavy, your team will also get one. For example, if you have a mouse, your opponents will get an E100.
Sure, why not? It's quite similar to the mouse, right?
Yeah. And for example, the Grill will no longer fight only against the Forge, as this vehicle will certainly encounter its equals. For example, the FB 215 or E4 or T110 E4. So this principle will be effective for all battle levels in rating battles, and I believe it's like really, it will really rock, because it's very logical. It seems like a logical thing to do.
Yeah, like it makes so much more sense to pit vehicles of equal or comparable characteristics in one battle, right?
Yeah, we'll definitely share the details about when this system will be introduced a bit later. We're not yet sure when it will be introduced, but anyway, we will definitely announce it. And these are not the only updates that we will get in rating battles. We're going to have a separate stream where we will share with you all the upcoming things. Meanwhile, back to the teams, back to the battles.
The teams are ready. Skate, back to you.
Hey, so next battles are on Dynasty's Pearl, and there has been some changes in the team setup. Most interestingly, let me just show you C4. They have 3 IS-3 defenders and 4 T-54 lightweights. Interesting choice for this map, which to me logically means they're probably going to go down towards the hilly area and not in the city area. As with if you look at the Legion team, well, they've gone predominantly heavy, this time more towards the usual Russian tanks we would expect to see in Clan Wars. They've got 3 IS-3s, they've stuck with 2 T-34s, a Pershing, and an IS-5. Interesting setups again, more towards what we expected from Clan Wars. Interesting to see where they're going to go on this map. Like I said, it's only my guess, but T-54 lightweights on this map, you don't really want to be corridor fighting up the top of the map, do you? You're going to get absolutely nailed. Especially if 3 IS-3s and IS-5 come rocking around the corner. That being said, though, with 2 T-34s and a Pershing, they could go down towards the dunes, the park area as well, and just defend. Get up to a place where they can use their gun depression and just defend it so they can't cap it. That would be a very nice setup, a very nice situation. I'm genuinely intrigued to see what C4 have planned for this map, because that's a very fixed regime right there. 3 IS-3 defenders rolling in and 4 T-54 lightweights. Like I said, there's no chance those T-54 lightweights are corridor fighting, are they? They've got to be going down. Is it C down? Yes, C down towards the bottom, and obviously A towards the top within the actual streets, which is the area I would refer to as the corridor fighting. We're just going to have to wait and see. Oxbow, though, again in his Pershing. Interesting choice. I don't think it's the strongest of tanks at tier 8, if I'm honest, but he does very, very well in it. In this, and obviously in random battles. I don't know. I wouldn't have picked a Persian myself. I'm not too good in the Persian, if I'm honest, though, but hey, that's irrelevant from this live stream. Let's just see how it pans out. This is going to be, again, I don't know which team's starting on which side yet. Team A, I'm assuming Legion are going to start down on the red at the bottom, but we'll have to wait and see. But after this match, it will be role reversal, switch sides. And remember, just to recap, C4 are currently winning 2-0. And here we go. I'm going to look like a right idiot right now, and if C4 don't go down there with the T-54 lightweights. Let's have a look what they're doing then. So, Legion currently bunching up and going straight down towards C. Interesting choice, and yep, as expected, they've gone down towards C, but then they're retreating. I think they realised that Legion are doing exactly that, and well, you can see they've pushed all 4. Look at those lightweights. You got all 4 lightweights, they're going to run amok, they are. You can see they're going around, they're after A. That's pretty much a certainty. They're going for A while they know Legion all down by C. And sadly, Legion haven't been in a situation yet where they can get into C. Haven't really seen any action yet. Oxbow's had a little bit of damage taken off him in the Pershing, and Ufpanjar in the T-54 lightweight has had a little bit of damage taken off him. But C4 are now in front with the T-54 lightweights capping A. Legion have just managed to catch C. And let's see where they go with this. I'm assuming the next step, hopefully, is IS-3 defenders engage and C4s flank with their T-54 lightweights. But let's go see how Legion have set themselves up. You can see they're defending their C position while looking at an option to push towards B. Problem they've got is with that ridge in front of them, well, they need to push the ridge and get to that ridge. But to get to that ridge means taking some heavy fire. 7 minutes, you can see he's on the flank. Very interesting, actually. If you look at the 2 flanks, you've got 7 minutes in one T-54 lightweight taking attention one side. But yeah, if you look at the other side, Ufpanjar's also down there in a T-54 lightweight, which means Legion are now fighting on 3 fronts. They push forward, they get nailed from the left and the right. So really, they need to be looking for a weak point and pushing one of them. Are we going to see that? Does look like Engi. Well, Engi is currently lined up, but he's going to get shot inside by Ufpanjar. And it looks like J6R, who didn't come to the Blitz Twister Cup, but he is in fill-in for one of the guys. So let's have a look. Well, we're a bit of a stalemate at the moment. C4 capping by a little bit more. They've got a little bit more caps, and there we go. Legion pushed their way into B. Now, if they can push a couple of tanks into B and the rest through B, well, we'd see an interesting and very defensive choice. But didn't happen. This is the problem with the T-34. In that situation he's in there, he's strong. If he goes forward, he's weak. Bast nearly had it, though, but sadly they all rushed him. And this is where I think we're going to just turn this into a big, meaty brawl. Because they're all there now. As it stands, though, Legion are winning on hit points. Can they capitalize on this, though? If they can focus fire in, they might be able to bring it back. And we're looking at a 2-1 there rather than a 3-1. There's one down. Eggy. I keep saying Engi and Eggy. Eggy is really, really close to dying. As I say that, though, Engi dies. So, there we go. Ufpanjar, you can see they're pushing on him, and they're pushing on Cube. They've got 2 T-54 lightweight pins right in the middle. Thomas is going to come around, put one right into the... How does that happen? Thomas just bounced a shot off the back of a T-54 lightweight. That doesn't happen. But here's the main thing now. They're winning on the kills. So, 910 supremacy points and a lot more guns still in the game. Again, as a commentator, you don't want to call it too early, but I think Legion have this one. We are looking at a 2-1 because there's only one T-54 lightweight left, and, well, I think he knows it's the end because he didn't run off. And that brings that one in for Legion. But that was a very, very interesting setup by C4. I wasn't expecting that one. They had their main group in the middle, and then they had one T-54 on lightweight on either side just to take the attention away. Interesting choice of setups. I got to give them that. Now you'll see if we go back to the team setup screen, because I'm going back early and clicking ready so I don't forget. They've dropped one of the IS-3 defenders in C4, and in place of that, they've got an RU-251, so they're looking for the faster push this time. Whether that means they're going to go running in, try and get C and B, or A and B, we don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see. The one thing, though, is the RU-251 is probably the only thing on the C4 team with gun depression. Key for when you're down in that C area. But also, when you're in A, you can use that ridge to defend while the rest of them cap A. But with a lot of fast tanks, it was quite amusing to see all those T-54 lightweights just rocket into B and then go, no, let's go away. I liked that. But it looks like they've changed it back to the IS-3 Defender and they've dropped one of the T-54 lightweights now for the RU-251. Any change in terms of Legion? No, exactly the same setup running there. Again, personal thing, really happy to see them running two T-34s. It's nice to see. Tanks with gun depression, big old nasty turrets. You don't see it often. You usually see just, well, IS-3s or the equivalent IS-7 or IS-3 Defenders. But it looks like C4 changed again. They've dropped another T-54 lightweight and they've gone in with another IS-3 instead. One of the requirements, by the way, I didn't mention this at the start of the battle, or the start of this one I should have. They're only allowed 3 premium tanks on either team. That's quite key. Now, Legion, they could take another one, couldn't they? But C4 are filled up with the IS-3 Defenders. I'm pretty sure they'd take another IS-3 Defender in place of their IS-3 if they could. But let's see where this is going then. So C4 are going down the push to C again. Legion, well, they're doing exactly the same. They're also pushing down to C. It looks like nobody wants to get into a corridor fight, because when you're in a corridor fight, you're in a horrible situation. Punjar's doing some amazing spots in there in his 251. Fair play to the guy. Look at that. He lit up the entire Legion team. That gives C4 an advantage in terms of they know where everybody is going. But in this sort of circumstance, you've got a 7 versus 7, and if you look at the mini-map, there is a little light tank from C4, realised what is going on, and has now gone on the flank. That's Punjar. Punjar in his RU-251 has gone, right, that's them addressed, I'm going to go get a base. Off he's gone to go get A. No, he's not. He's completely ignored A. It doesn't look like anyone wants to cap a base in this one. Punjar's completely disregarded A, which potentially could have given him an advantage, and he is on the flank. He's having a bit of a drift, and it looks like he is working his way to the flank. Now he's going to provide a distraction while getting some shots off. However, J6 Star has spotted him and has come chasing him in his IS-3 Bear, which, by the way, I do think looks great. I think I need to pick myself that camo up. And now Punjar's gone, run away. And I don't blame him, but this is where it may have been advantageous to catch A, because he was in a situation where nobody knew he went up there. It's only as he came around he got spotted. In the time of doing that, though, C4 have now pushed on Legion, and they've lost Gandalf, and C4 have the advantage at the moment. This is going to be quite interesting, and if you look at Oxbow's in the middle, and he's got several tanks around him. You've got the T-54 light, but you've got an IS-3, and you've got T-54 light. Yeah, that's Oxbow done. This isn't looking too healthy for Legion. And this was an interesting play, because neither team was interested in catching any bases. And this is what I like about these two teams as well. They've actually worked each other out quite well, played against each other a lot. And for those who don't know, they play against each other not in events, just for training. Because they're two very good teams. But that looks like it is the end of Legion. Only J6R left in his IS-3 Bear. And I was kind of hoping Punjar would jump on him then, but just that would be a nice little highlight to end on. But sadly, there was a 5. Well, C4 had 5 left. Let's have a look at what's going on in terms of damage there. Because Punjar looked like he had a very good choice in the RU-251. Because, of course, he has HEP. And with that HEP running around the butt, he in theory should have got much more DPM. 2,774. Legion was on top with, well, you got Legion Thomas, T-34, 1,479 damage. We are now looking 3-1, which means if C4 win this one, well, that's 4-1. C4 win. So Legion really needs to pull this one out of the bag. Interesting. It's amazing how things change at tier 8. And look at C4. They've gone, nope, we're taking an AMX 5100 this time. Nice burst DPM, but then obviously long reload. So unless they have a plan for that, which I imagine they do, it looks like C4 have everything mapped out in terms of how they do it. Any changes from the Legion team? At present, it looks like Gandalf's picked himself a KV4. And it looks like Legion are missing a player.
Yeah, so it's a 3-1, and we are giving the teams a bit of a break before another map. So another section of our updates and news. We're glad to have you all back. Thank you for staying with us and watching us. Yeah, so we'll tell you a bit more details that we have from our developers, what is awaiting World of Tanks Blitz in 2018. So some main features, main updates that will affect our game and our players. So as a matter of fact, one of the most important 2018 updates, long-awaited one that Blitz players have been waiting for like 3 years or almost 4 years, is replays. We are planning to introduce replays into the game. I believe that EU streamers and NA streamers as well as tournament players are so happy right now. Because this feature will allow not only recording games but also showing your best moments to your friends, as well as showing us and giving us feedback on bugs, for example, or any rules violations. I believe that both developers and players are waiting for this. So this is probably one of the most major things in 2018.
Did you know that some players who already know about the fact we're bringing replays in the game are, getting ready for it and make websites where they are getting ready to collect best replays to rival our best replays of the week show?
That is absolutely amazing, because it's so pleasant to see that our guys are so into the game and into everything that we're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we would like to jump to esports, because our friendly game is not just a show match, but it's also a prerequisite to us. We're going to announce about tournaments. So this is a new format. It will be different from series, and it's based somewhat on skills. Yeah, so basically we have this new principle for forming groups.
Now the groups are actually formed by the average win ratio.
Yeah, and so it's not like so the time between seasons is not like should not feel like it's something like super big, because we also would like it to be for the players to be some time to get ready for tournaments, to have trainings, etc. So this time between seasons is something that we hope will become a training with more or less similar enemies. Yeah, so for example, for our current team C4, it will not be like they will just carve straight through newbies to the top,
league,
to the
right?
very top. Yeah, they will be matched against their similar skill opponents.
Yep. So what this principle does is that it allows new teams to actually become competing, to earn credits, to earn spar parts and stuff like that. Actually, it's worth noting that the new season that will begin really soon will have a different set of regulations than the current time in between seasons, the training time has. You will see a lot of changes to the rules, and we'll see how this format plays out. We'll collect the feedback and we'll try to improve it as much as possible. We want to make sure we have a lot quick tournaments, a lot more than we currently have. We want more players to try playing tournaments. However, if you're a strong team, you're always welcome in our tournaments. Yeah, I mean,
we're
if you want to
definitely
choose
not going
right?
to neglect like big tournaments, and 2 major international competitions will be held in 2018. We had like Mobile Masters in Las Vegas and Blitz Game Show in Japan. So the first 2018 tournament season will start this winter, and we'll announce all the details on like platforms, countries, qualifications, conditions a bit later. The regional tournaments were well received by the players, so you can pretty much expect something similar. Because of the atmosphere of these tournaments, this like inside of the region, fighting your peers from different countries, for example, etc. So we hope we will be able to bring some joy to the players who like to compete inside their region. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's a good opportunity, I think. I mean, if you're into Blitz, you know, and you want to compete, we'll make tournaments available, and you know, like that, you can get in a tournament like that, right?
Yeah, and we're still back to our teams.
Yeah, the teams are ready. We gotta jump in.
Yeah, we're ready for session 3 and ready to see what they have.
And back to you, Skate. We're back in the training rooms.
Hey, so some changes while you guys were gone. Obviously, if C4 win this one, they win this friendly. And it looks like C4 are going to trial some very unique chunks. They got an AMX 3090, T54 lightweight, IS3 defender, AMX 5100. They've got the M6A2E1, which more commonly known as the Mutant, another defender, and the AMX 5100 again. So they've gone for something quite quirky, very, very diverse. I'm very curious as to how that one's going to pan out. Legion, they've stuck with the 2 D34s. They still got the Pershing and an IS-3. However, Binny's come in. We've lost J6R due to ping issues, I believe. And in his place, Binny's come in his T32. Also, we now have a Borsig on the Legion team. A big old alpha tank backing up the flank, I imagine. So I'm hoping to see something interesting on that. Now, remember, guys, this is now the Mayan Ruins map, and hopefully we will see it played both ways. If Legion pull the win out, there will be another game. If they don't, well, C4 win. And you can see the games, well, you say you can see the games, you can see the teams chatting away, and obviously everyone gets on and they're having friendlies and they're having fun, but obviously, like I said earlier, they both really, really want to win. I imagine it's one of those, well, we beat them once, we could beat them again. And C4 was like, yeah, but we beat you as well. They're very, very competitive teams, and they're both very good teams. But it looks like so far C4 are pulling the stops out. I'm curious as to how this lineup's going to go down. That's a very, very diverse team. However, I know the IS-3 Defender is an autoloader. However, you're looking like a 7-second reload, if I recall. Haven't played mine in a long time. I think it's 7-second reload between shells. AMX 5100s and the AMX 1390 can unload their entire clip in that time. So that's an interesting choice. And you can't help but wonder if they're trialing that because they know they've got the lead or they have some crazy harebrained scheme. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes down. And of course, the Mutant. Well, it's called a Mutant for a reason. It's ugly and it's a monster. But I love it. It's a great tank. And it's got some crazy frontal armor. It's a very good match for Legion's T-34s. They can both play the gun depression game. And here we go, onto Mayan Ruins. Now, obviously, C4, as I mentioned, have a very, very diverse team here. And I'm starting off on the C4 side on my camera. So let's see where the teams go. Okay, so it looks like Legion are pushing a medium tank down towards C, and it looks like the rest are going up. And it looks like all of C4 are going up, with one going to B. So an interesting option here. Both teams have a strategy, quite clearly. Now, I'm skipping through my camera, so I'm only going to be a moment. My apologies. So, Ulf Punjar is now setting up in his AMX 1390, and you can see he's not capping B, but he's covering B. He's in a situation where he could just watch to make sure if anyone does, they get reset. Thomas, well, he got a butt shot on him then by the Mutant, and then he's back into cover, and he did manage to return a shot, and now Legion are in the cap. So they're capping C, however A has already been capped by C4. And this is an interesting scenario again, because B is very open on this map. If either one push it, the other team can, well, nail them in that situation. So I'm curious as to how they're going to play this now. Angie in his Borsig is he's just been spotted. He's only just been spotted, and I'm hoping he's going for that 50B because he would have done tremendous damage to that 50B. Sorry, I keep 50B. 5100. I'm used to talking about tier 10 battles quite clearly. But C4 Milk in the Defender is now gone under the ridge, and here comes the 1390 on the Borsig. Now, it doesn't look like Angie had a... Well, he shot the floor. So he either had ping issues, lag issues, I don't know, but he quite clearly shot the floor instead of the 1390. But if you look at the reload bars on them both, it looks like the 1390 is just going to finish him off before he finished his reload. And it is C4 in the lead on this one. They are ahead on cap points and on hit points. So basically, C4 just need to push this in. Thomas is a very, very low health. There's Thomas gone. And it's just Oxbow and Eggy left. Eggy's in a good hull-down position, though. Hopefully he's going to get a nice shot off on the 1390. He tried using HE, you can see there, and only did 222 damage. So he didn't sadly penetrate. And there's 1,000 hit points off Eggy. And, well, there goes Oxbow, and it is just Eggy left. He may get one more shot in. It doesn't look like he's going to, though, because, well, the Mutant's already loaded, and there goes Eggy. Which means, guys, C4 have won this friendly... What is going on there? C4 have won this friendly 4-1. Remember, it is just a friendly, but for these guys, I imagine both teams do to win. It looks like the Mutant was a very, very good call as well, pulling out 2,730 damage with Pingver. Eggy was at the top then with Legion with 1,864. And then, well, I'm assuming it's Milk from C4 with 1,708 in the Defender. Interesting choices. Blast sadly was on a 0 on the IS-5. I don't know why, but again, if you look, Binny also 355. And we did see the Borsig shoot the ground, completely opposite direction to the AMX 1390. So I don't know what was going on there, but it looked like possibly there was some complications. I'm going to drop a GG in the chat in the training room to both teams because that was fun to watch. So yeah, that's the end of the battles, guys. Would have been nice to see the random battle at the end on Costella, though, just for, it is friendlies, but just for the sake of it, and, well, hey, more games. It looks like most of the teams have now dropped out of the training room.
Yeah, this was a nice game.
It was great
Again,
to see
congratulations
this
to C4.
encounter. Yeah, we would like to thank our teams because this is a great way to spend Friday evening watching this rumble between two great teams. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we're sure that in chat room and on YouTube, people are congratulating C4, but LGN was a worthy competition, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I hope Skate had a great evening as well. And that right, Skate?
Yes, thank you for inviting me on.
Thank you guys for being with us. And let's see how these teams perform in the next season of tournament battles and what they will do at the upcoming LAN finals. So maybe in 2018, these guys will become dark horses. Oh, and we'll see champions rising from NA
yeah,
or
maybe
EU.
we'll see completely different and new faces that will be absolutely amazing, that will give us so many emotions. Yeah, so thank you again, Skate, for commenting these games, for commenting these battles.
Hey, no problem at all. I'm so glad to be here. It was good fun. Shame for LGN, but obviously they both played well, and well, it's just a friendly at the end of the day, so I imagine neither are going to feel bitter at the end anyway.
Yeah, we hope so as well.
That's what friendly matches are for. Yeah,
Absolutely.
let's keep in touch. This year, you'll see a lot more global streams like that, broadcasting to all the regions. This was Nick, Arts, Anna,
and
Skate.
And our friend Skate. So
see you there, guys.
See you there.